The rack would start, to me, at 3 or 4 die, and then increase as the torturer increases pressure on the rack. Step it up a die.
I kind of like that. I don't know. I think the damage or wounds to the character in question really should kind of move ahead by the speed of plot. Meaning that, if they're tortured for a while, there's really no reason to sit there and go into all the ways they're tortured or anything like that. That can be handled by a cutscene, and they wake up in their cell or at the next scene that you think is appropriate, and you just arbitrarily go, well, you got wound 1. Or you're incapacitated, or whatever. I don't think you really need to sit down and get down to the, brass tacks, the 1 + 1 is 2 kind of thing. I think you can wing it.
Okay. I could understand where you're coming from with this.
That's just, one opportunity or one idea. Hey, I thought about, or I had seen rules for, I thought I had seen rules for aiming in Rising Extended, but I couldn't find them. So I made up a rule modeled after preparing rules on page 81. And then someone, I'm sorry, I don't remember who, told me it was listed in the section in the second paragraph, the exact same section. And somehow I had missed it. So after feeling rather foolish, I decided to turn embarrassment into victory, and I expanded on the rule. So here's Don's ideas for doing some aiming. Now, aiming. A character who aims for 1 round gains a +1d skill modifier to a single ranged attack roll at the beginning of his next round. He may perform no other actions in this round in the round that he is aiming, and if he is stunned or wounded, the aim is spoiled. Now, alternatively, if you don't want to go that route, you can allow the character who is stunned or wounded to make a willpower or knowledge skill roll to resist, with the target number being equal to the amount of damage. So if they're successful in that roll, the aim is not thrown off, and if unsuccessful, it's spoiled. And the final option, the very last one, is to allow the +1d modifier to be either used for the skill roll or the damage roll. What's your favorite flavor?
Sticking to the rules, of course.
Oh, well. +1d?
I like what you do. I like what you're working with here. It gives you a more advanced flavor. But
yeah, what I'm trying to do is make some of those skills out there that we don't use a lot, like willpower, actually make sense. Like a couple weeks ago, I came up with the fright check roll when we had about Halloween time. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that. So, I mean, as opposed to just only rolling willpower every time you're being tortured or you're holding on to the edge of a windowsill of broken glass and you're trying not to let go of it, or you're trying to grab onto something hot and not drop it. I wanted willpower to be something more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I get where you're coming from.
Okay.
As a community project, we were wondering if people had an interest in making force power cards. Basically, this is a card that had a picture on it, and it would list all the information for the use of a power. I think, personally, the whole illustration thing, illustrating a force power, would be awesome. We think it'd be a fun tool for pen and paper game and maybe even virtual tabletops. Let us know what you think.
I think it's kind of an interesting idea. I can't remember who it was. I think somebody in the G+ community actually said that they would be interested in this. I don't know if they said exactly what their time schedule was. I'll follow up on that. But I'm trying to think if Ranker Pit actually did anything with this, or if there was just talk about it.
That's a good question.
I don't know. I'll have to ask, maybe Cheshire or somebody like that, and say, hey, has this been covered before?
So, if you guys are interested in the community project, have any other ideas, input, comments, I don't care if it's negative or positive, everything helps us. Our email address is shootingwomprats@gmail.com. Same thing for YouTube is Shooting Womp Rats. Ranker Pit is Shooting Womp Rats, as well as Twitter is Twitter is at SWD6Podcast.
You know, I'm seeing a trend here in how to communicate with us. This whole shooting Womp Rats thing is, I'm seeing a pattern.
So,
but anyway, let me just reiterate what Daniel's saying. Yes, please let us know what you think. Give us your ideas, your input on certain, projects and stuff like that. Love to hear from you guys.
Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of Shooting Womp Rats. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Don.
And may the Force be with you.
And you guys as well. Have a great weekend.